All right, all right, all right. Yes, that was a Matthew McConaughey reference from the great movie Dazed and Confused, one of my all-time favorite movies. And I'm hoping I'm not dazed and confused after this week. Week 5. Yes, that's right. It's a game day in week 5, and the Philadelphia Eagles take on the St. Louis Rams. The Eagles coming into this game 3-1. I believe the Rams are like 1-3. But, of course, the Eagles, a tough luck loss last week at San Francisco. They became the first team in a very long time to score 2 special teams touchdowns and 1 defensive touchdown and still go on to lose the game. If there's a bad record to be either set or made, a Philadelphia team will probably find a way to do that. It just seems how it goes around here. But anyhow, it was a tough luck loss for them. They go down to the I almost called them the Giants, the 40. By the way, I'm tired of the Giants. Can the Giants just freaking lose in the playoffs when they get there? I mean, come on, man. Them and the Cardinals all the time. But anyhow, well, one of them has to lose, right? If they play one another, unless they just somehow end up in a tie and they merge both teams and they both go into the World Series. Freaking Giants and Cardinals. Enough! As a Phillies fan, I want to see someone else in there in the National League. Anyhow, that's a subject for another day. This is Season of the Fan, Philadelphia Eagles. See, I got my Retro Eagles shirt on today, and they are playing the Rams. I hope it's a win, because every now and then the Eagles play against a team that they should just dominate and they lose. It seems to happen every year. It almost happened in week 1 against Jacksonville until the Eagles woke up in the second half of that game. But I'm hoping that the Eagles can bounce back from a tough loss at San Francisco last week against the 49ers, not the Giants, and get a win today in South Philly at the Link against the St. Louis Rams. And speaking of the Rams, I do have a confession to make. I feel like I'm in some sort of church here or something. This is the church, actually. My church. This is my vault. Church for jersey collecting, anyhow. And one of my all-time favorite jerseys in the history of the NFL is the Rams jerseys. The older jerseys, circa the Eric Dickerson years, which, by the way, A Football Life, Eric Dickerson premieres this Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on NFL Network. I feel like I should work for the network, right? Come on, Mariucci, get me in there. But anyhow, give me Mini Mooch and me. But anyhow, this is one of my all-time favorite jerseys from the LA Rams days to their early days in St. Louis up until when they won the Super Bowl. But that being said, I will not be wearing this jersey today. I will be wearing one of my Eagles jerseys, probably Shady McCoy, because I'm hoping he just breaks out of this season-long funk so far, and their running game gets there. They get Lane Johnson back on the offensive line, and I hope they just tear it up running the ball, and offense just scoring touchdowns left and right, because that's what I want to see. That's what we all want to see. We want that just to forget about last week. Can't do anything offensively last week until the end, and when they did, they got stopped at the goal line. They did. San Francisco. But anyhow, hopefully, the Eagles can bounce back. I do think they will bounce back. I think that they'll be the Angry Birds today, although they are missing the Angry Bird because for the third straight game, Michael Kendricks will be out due to injury. But I think the Eagles should win by double digits and just put away the Rams early. Don't leave any doubt in this one. Sometimes the Eagles lose games that they're supposed to win, on paper. And then sometimes they just blow out teams. And I hope that this is a week where they just blow out the Rams. The Rams can come in for a little visit. Yeah, they're feeling good. Yeah, Philadelphia. Yeah, then they get blown out. I hope that's one of those games. Why? Because they're not wearing those jerseys anymore, so the Rams can't win this one. And speaking of jerseys, by the way, I hope the Eagles go with their green jerseys today because they played 4 games, including 2 home games. They've worn the white jerseys every week. Yes, they're 3-1, but I want to see that green. When you think the Eagles, you think green, right? Green. So forget the black, green. So I'm hoping to go back to those green jerseys, or I'll even settle for the black one. Just don't come out with the white ones again. Come on, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's go back to the green. Let's get angry, Hulk, and beat the Rams. I won't have any video during the game today because I'm just going to sit back and watch the game. But I will have my post-game report afterwards. So, yes, Season of the Fan, Week 5 against the St. Louis Rams at home. Let's go, Eagles, on the road to victory. Let's hope, right? And I'll see you after the game. Well, with the magic of editing, you'll just see me in like a couple seconds. But Anyhow, there we go. Let's go, Birds! Ugh. Can they just win one game easily? The Rams! You're up 27 points on the freaking Rams, and you let them back in? I'm gonna have to go to the hospital before the end of the season. I can tell. This is what being a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles will do to you. This is what it will do. Your blood pressure will go up. Your heart rate will go up. You're going to sit there every game and you won't have fingernails left. This is every week. This is what they do. When they win, it's, oh my God, stop them. Stop the other team. When they lose, it's, how could you do that? Why? You can't score from the 2. And it's just the emotions of being a fan of any team, but I'm an Eagles fan because I can only speak for being an Eagles fan. What they put us Eagle fans through year after year, game after game, is just such a roller coaster ride. As I see the Saints just won in overtime, but anyhow, it's such a roller coaster ride. It's unbelievable. And yes, the lights are on, so that means on the hat, so that means the Eagles won, and indeed they do. I'm going to switch hats here. I'm going to go to my support the breast cancer awareness right there. Wear the pink. But the Eagles win. What was the score? 34-28, I believe, was the final. It was kind of a weird, odd score, but 34-28. Eagles win. First of all, they don't win this game if it isn't for the special teams coming up big and the defense. The defense more so in the about 3/4 of the game, because they kind of had a lull there and allowed the Rams to just look like the Broncos offense for a while. But the special teams, that's 2 straight games. The first points of the game for the Eagles are on a blocked punt for touchdown. Excellent job. Defense first half, they were just dominant. They got a defensive touch. They were getting stops. I think the defensive touchdown came in the second half. Cedric Thornton. They got a big strip though in the first half when the Rams were looking at least to get a field goal on the drive, and they played really well for the most part. They gave up some plays. The cornerbacks, my goodness, Kerry Williams, you got to turn around and look for the ball every now and then. This is getting ridiculous. And, what can you do? But defensively, it would be great to get, Michael Kendricks back. My guess is they might not have him until after the bye week, and you can really see the difference. Linebacker play. D'Amico Ryans, I think, went out with a groin injury or something. I don't even really remember it, to be honest. I think I saw that on the scroll. But so linebacker, they're really thin, and obviously their secondary. Look, I'm not going to make any bones about it. Besides Jenkins, they're awful. Kerry Williams doesn't belong in the NFL. I don't even know if he would belong in the Arena Football League the way he plays sometimes, but he's just awful. Hopefully this is his last year here. Brandon Fletcher, if you had a better cornerback on the other side, I think he might be okay, because he makes plays from time to time. He had a couple nice plays where he knocked the ball out of the receiver's hand before they can completely come down with the ball. And, I think it's a product of having a one horrible corner on one side, and your other one's not going to look much better. But Nate Allen, he's a guy. Thank God for Jenkins, though. Thank God for Jenkins, because if it wasn't for him, this secondary would be even more just putrid. Week to week, they seem to let whoever the other quarterback is of the team look like Peyton Manning, and just give up catch after catch, yards after yards, score after score, and you allow teams like the St. Louis Rams to come back in this game. The Eagles are up 27 points late in the third quarter. Rams get a rushing touchdown. And then they proceed to, the Eagles not doing much on offense. Rams just, every possession they're scoring touchdowns. And I'm sitting there going, this game should be over. In fact, when the Eagles got that late third quarter touchdown from Jeremy Maclin, I said, finally a laugher. Finally I can just sit back and put my feet up and not have to worry. Well, boy, was I wrong about that, because here come the frickin' Rams. Looking like the freaking greatest show on turf, Rams, when they had Kurt Warner and, Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and Marshall. I mean, that's what they look like on offense. It's like zip, 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 first down, touchdown, third down and long touchdown. It's like, really? What is this? What is going on? I mean, again, it was the Vince Lombardi moment. It's like, what the hell is going on out here? And just horrible. But I will say this. When they had to get that last stop, they got that last stop. And it's not always going to be pretty, but a win is a win is a win, and I'd much rather have them have won that game than lost. If they would have lost that game, they said it would have been the first time, and here we go with the Philadelphia stats, right? The first time in regulation, in the regular season, that a team was to come back from 27 points down in the second half to win a game. And they kept putting that stat up. I'm like, stop showing it. Every time there's a bad stat that can be broken by a Philadelphia team, it's going to be broken. Stop showing that. And but the Eagles, for all their problems, were able to come back and get that final stop and get the win. And I believe that calls for me, so I will be right back. So anyhow, the defense gets a stop where they have to get a stop. Most important time to get a stop, and they did. Offensively, I got the McCoy jersey on, but he just hasn't done much of anything this year. It's getting really bad, and I know they're having injuries on the offensive line. Like I said earlier, they just got Lane Johnson back off suspension, but it's just not happening. I mean, McCoy is, he's dancing around a lot. He's always done that, and it's nice when it works, but, just make that decision, hit that hole, get those yards, even if it's just 2 or 3 yards. It's better than losing 2 or 3 yards, and he seems to be doing that an awful lot this year. And I know defenses are all keying in on him. They're trying to make the Eagles a one-dimensional offense, and so far it's so far so good. That's exactly what they've done. The Eagles have been a one-dimensional offense all year, and that one dimension has been up and down. Nick Foles is not having the year he had a year ago. Now, it's going to be impossible to have that type of year. But what I mean is he's not really on target with a lot of these passes. He's, throwing the ball too high. He's kind of throwing a few worm balls in there. And he's been kind of erratic. Now, he has been under a lot of pressure with the opposing defenses getting to him, but at the same time, he just seems, I don't know, just not confident from times. And there's times where he has some great throws and great plays, but there's other times that it's like, really, what the heck? Today, that the Eagles turned the ball over 3 times. Foles had an interception. See, again, the Eagles are trying to go for these home run balls. And it's like I said a week ago against the 49ers. You don't have that burner receiver. And Macklin's a very talented receiver. He could be a Pro Bowl receiver this year. He really could be. But he's not a burner. And Cooper's not a burner. And Matthews isn't a burner. You don't have that aspect. And last year, and how many years, prior to that, they had that aspect when they had Deshaun Jackson. Well, he's with the Redskins now. And it's like there's certain times in the game where they're trying this home run ball to Maclin. And, maybe eventually it will work. But so far, what it's done is led to interceptions. Interception last week at San Francisco. Interception this week against the Rams. And you know what? Those are drive and momentum killers. And, I understand you have to keep a defense honest. You have to attempt the long pass every now and then. But there's time and place. And it seems the Eagles always are trying this at the worst times. It's just getting picked off. You know, so we have another week where the Eagles' running attack just isn't there. Late in the game when you want to play keep away from the Rams on 3rd and 6, you're handing the ball off. I didn't really understand that call from Chubb. I mean, yeah, there he runs the ball, right? Last week on third and goal from the 1.5 yard line, he throws the ball. But anyhow, at that point, go with a slant pass, go with a short pass. You got to get the first down there. The last thing you want to do is give the ball back to the Rams because the Rams offense had all that momentum. Now, it worked out. They got stopped. They punted the ball. Good job on special teams again. They pinned the Rams deep on that punt. And then a couple first downs later and a defensive penalty later, the Rams look like they're driving again, and then a 4th down stop. So a good job there by the Eagles special teams and defense. Like I said, they won this game. The offense, they had moments. Riley Cooper finally caught a ball in the end zone instead of letting it go through his hands for a touchdown. Jeremy Maclin wide open for another touchdown. Really nice route there by Maclin. No running game. They got stuffed up. They got stopped. McCoy made a few runs. Sproles made a few runs. I'd like to see Sproles in the offense a little more, too. I'd like to see them go with McCoy and Sproles in the backfield. Anything to take the pressure off of Foles. And, right now, it's just week to week. It's like the run is being stuffed and stopped, and it's one-dimensional. Now, you say this and they're 4-1. So you wonder, well, once they get the running, game going, how dangerous can they really be? Well, I don't know if we're going to know until the Eagles get Mathis and Kelsey back. Those are 2 huge losses on the offensive line, and they made a point of showing that with the loss of Kelsey too, because he's great in the run game. Pulls, gets blocks downfield. Really an athletic center, and of course Evan Mathis is too, an athletic guard. Eagles' offensive line is very athletic when they have everyone in there, pulling, making blocks, opening up those holes for McCoy, getting blocks downfield for him or Sproles, and they definitely need that back. But that being said, 2 straight weeks Nick Foles hasn't been sacked, and so you got to give a little credit to the guys who are in there. So basically, my look at this game, my post-game report here, is that the Eagles are 4-1. I'm happy they're 4-1. I'm much, much more happier than if they would have lost that game, and just would have been probably one of the worst losses I've ever seen, as far as a regular season game goes. I'm glad that they won the game, but truthfully speaking, I know there's a long way to go. They have a lot of work to do offensively, which was supposed to be the strength of this team. Right now, I got to tell you, right now, through these last 2 weeks, is like the weakness of the team. And, they were shut out against the 49ers. And today, they get a couple touchdowns, a couple field goals. But, again, it was the special teams and defense that had to win this game. And, the offense, has to put this game away. And that's one of the reasons why the Rams were able to come back in this game, because the offense just couldn't move the ball. And, late in the third quarter, most of the fourth quarter. There were, and it's definitely concerning. It's a big concern, and I don't know if this is something that can get straightened out within a week or after the bye, really until they get those pieces back on the offensive line, or if anything else, if their running game can just get going. Just have that threat of the run would be big. It would be big. But the Eagles win it in the end. And that's the most important thing, to get the 4-1. Unfortunately, Dallas wins in overtime against the Texans, and the Giants win too. So the Murph and Papa Murph are happy this week. But we all know who's playing who next week, because next week, week 6, before the bye week, another home game, a huge game in the NFC East division. You have the Eagles hosting the Giants in prime time, Sunday Night Football, right here in Philly. And hey, you know what? I'm sure that's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be another close game either way. I'm going to be sitting there, cursing at the TV, biting my fingernails off, and just kind of going like this a lot of times. I didn't have any in-game footage today, but it's probably good because it wouldn't have been very, let's just say, PG rated, particularly when the Rams were making that comeback. And as an Eagles fan, again, I'll take the win. I'll take the 4-1, but they have a lot of work to do, particularly on offense. And goodness, Kerry Williams, it's nice to turn around and look for the ball every now and then. You might want to do that. You're a cornerback in the NFL. I think it's something you should know by now. But at any rate, Eagles win. They're 4-1. So I'm happy about that. I'm definitely nervous about this offense, particularly the running game. But I will still take the win other than a loss and, get ready for Week 6. Big game against the Giants. Showdown at Lincoln Financial Field. And, so that should be a big game. Always is when the Eagles and Giants play. So early, still kind of an early, in the season, early season test for the Birds. Hopefully they can pass it, go to 5-1 in the bye week, and then they play at Arizona the following week. So anyhow, that's going to do it for Week 5, this edition of this chapter, I should say, of Season of the Fan, the 2014 Philadelphia Eagles. They're 4-1, and let's go Birds next week. Let's play better on offense, get the 5-1 big week number 6 showdown home against the Giants. The G-Men are coming to town, and hopefully my Birds can prevail, but we'll have to wait the week to see what happens. But anyhow, go Eagles, and I will see you in Week 6.